Have you ever had a moment where everything you believed about your life just shattered? I'm talking about that gut punch instant when you realize the people you'd die for wouldn't even wait dinner for you. My name is Patricia, and I'm about to tell you how my family celebrated my 52nd birthday without me, and how one phone call brought their entire world crashing down. But before we get there, hit that subscribe button, because this story is going to take you on a ride you won't forget. Picture this. It's 9 p.m. on a humid July Thursday. I'm sitting on my kitchen floor in my scrubs, still smelling like hospital disinfectant after a brutal 12-hour shift in the ER. My back aches, my feet are screaming. But I'm smiling because today is my day, my birthday, and I'm about to see my family for the dinner we planned. The soul food restaurant downtown, fried chicken, collard greens, peach cobbler, just the four of us like old times, except my house is dark, empty, silent. There's a note on the fridge. Out for a bit, back late. That's it. No happy birthday, Mom. No sorry we're running late. Just out. My phone buzzes. Instagram notification. My daughter Emily posted something, and that's when my world ended. The video loads, and there it is. My husband Michael, laughing with his head thrown back. My son Joshua, fork in hand, cutting into a slice of chocolate cake. My chocolate cake, the one I'd mentioned wanting for weeks. Emily behind the camera, her voice bright. To the best mom ever, wish you were here. The camera pans across the table at the soul food restaurant. Our restaurant, the one I'd suggested, and I see it all. The fried chicken I'd been dreaming about. The collard greens steaming on their plates, the birthday candles flickering on a cake that was supposed to be mine. They're celebrating my birthday without me. I can smell my own sweat mixing with tears as they slide down my face. 25 years I've been an ER nurse, mopping up blood and saving lives while my body slowly broke down. 28 years I've been Michael's wife, since we were broke high school sweethearts with nothing but promises. 24 years I've been Emily's mother, 20 years Joshua's. I've packed 10,000 lunches, worked double shifts so they could have what I never did, skipped vacations, wore the same dresses, sacrificed every dream I ever had, and they couldn't wait 2 hours for me. But here's the thing, friends. Here's what my family didn't know as they raised their glasses and made their little toast to Patricia while I sobbed alone in the dark. I wasn't just a tired nurse they could forget. I wasn't just the woman who held everything together while getting nothing back. I was the woman who owned the house they lived in, the woman with 15 years of secret investments, the woman whose lawyer best friend was one phone call away. One call. That's all it would take to teach them what happens when you make someone invisible. And I was about to make that call. Let me take you back to the beginning of that day, before everything fell apart, before I knew what betrayal really tasted like. My shift started at 7 a.m. The emergency room at Grady Memorial doesn't sleep, and neither do I. Within the first hour, I had a 7-year-old with a broken arm, fell off his bike, crying for his mama. I held his little hand while we waited for x-rays, told him he was brave, and thought about my own kids at that age, how I'd rushed home from double shifts to kiss their scraped knees, how they'd looked at me like I could fix anything. You're gonna be okay, sweetheart, I told him. His mama squeezed my shoulder, tears in her eyes. Thank you, nurse. Thank you for caring. Caring? That's what I did. That's who I was. By noon, I'd helped deliver twins, tiny miracles born at 35 weeks, but fighting. The mother grabbed my wrist. Will they be okay? I smiled through my mask. They're fighters, just like their mama. I stayed an extra 20 minutes past my break, making sure those babies were stable, making sure that mother felt safe. At 2 p.m., I texted Michael. Long day, but thinking about tonight. Can't wait for dinner. No response. At 4 p.m. during a rare bathroom break, I texted Emily. What time should I meet you guys? 8? 8:30? 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then nothing. At 6 p.m., as I stitched up a teenager who'd gotten into a fight, another kid throwing his life away over nothing, I called Joshua, straight to voicemail. "Hey baby, it's Mom. Just wanted to confirm dinner plans. Love you." The shift ended at 7:30 p.m. I was exhausted, my lower back screaming from 12 hours on my feet, but I practically floated to my car. 52 felt old some days, but tonight I felt celebrated. Special. I stopped at a red light and checked my phone one more time. Still nothing. The drive home took 20 minutes. I spent it planning what I'd wear, maybe that burgundy dress I'd been saving. Would there be flowers waiting? Michael wasn't romantic anymore, but surely for my birthday. I pulled into our driveway at 8:15 p.m., scanning for cars. Empty. Maybe they were running late. Maybe they were already at the restaurant, waiting for me. The house was dark, every window black. I unlocked the door, flipped the light switch in the kitchen, and felt my stomach drop. No balloons, no cake, no sign anyone had been here at all. Then I saw it. A yellow sticky note on the refrigerator door, Michael's handwriting. Out for a bit. Back late. Out for a bit. On my birthday. I called Michael. Voicemail, Emily. Voicemail, Joshua. Voicemail. My hands started shaking. I told myself to breathe. Maybe there was an emergency. Maybe someone got hurt. Maybe my phone buzzed. Instagram. Emily had posted to her story. I opened it. The first thing I heard was laughter. Michael's laugh. That deep rumble I used to love. Then the camera focused, and I saw him sitting at a booth, his face flushed and happy. Really happy. Happier than he'd looked at me in months. Swipe. Next story. Joshua. My baby boy, stuffing his face with fried chicken, grease on his fingers, grinning at the camera. The caption, Mom always knows the best spots. Swipe. My heart pounding now. Emily's face close up, her eyes sparkling. Behind her I could see it. The red vinyl booths of Pascal's, our soul food restaurant. My restaurant. Family night, the caption read. Celebrating the best mom ever, wish you were here. Swipe. A birthday cake. Chocolate with white frosting. Candles. 52 of them, burning bright. Michael's hand reached into frame, lighting the last one. Someone off camera said, "Make a wish for Mom." They sang. I could hear them singing Happy Birthday through my phone speaker, their voices distant and tinny, while I stood alone in the dark kitchen, still wearing my scrubs that smelled like antiseptic and someone else's blood. My legs gave out. I slid down the refrigerator, that stupid note crumpling behind my back, and I just broke. You know what the worst part was? In that moment, I thought about my grandmother. She raised me in a tiny house in West End, and she used to say, "Baby girl, birthdays are sacred. It's the one day a year God stops and says, 'You matter, you're here. You're worth celebrating.'" I pressed my forehead against my knees and sobbed so hard I couldn't breathe. They'd celebrated. Without me. I don't know how long I sat there on that floor. Long enough for the tears to stop. Long enough for the hurt to start turning into something else, long enough to start remembering. See, I met Michael in 1987 at Booker T. Washington High School. We were both broke as hell. His daddy worked at the Ford plant. Mine was long gone. I was 17, he was 18, and we were so in love it hurt. We'd sit on his mama's porch and plan our future. "I'm going to get my mechanic license," he'd say. "Make good money. Buy you a house." And I'd squeeze his hand and say, "And I'll be a nurse. We'll make it together, baby. Together." Together. God, I believe that word. I got pregnant with Emily 3 months after we got married. I was 19, working the night shift at a nursing home, wiping elderly folks who reminded me of my grandma. Michael was still in school for his certification, so I worked 6 days a week, sometimes 7. I'd come home at dawn, my back aching, and Michael would be asleep on the couch with his textbooks. I'd cover him with a blanket and think, this is temporary. We're building something. Emily came early. 7 pounds, 2 ounces, perfect. I took 2 weeks off. That's all I could afford. Then went back to work with my milk still coming in. Breast pump in my bag, crying in the supply closet between rounds because I missed her so bad. But Michael needed to finish school. Our baby needed food. So I kept going. When Michael finally got his certification in 1992, I thought we'd made it. He got hired at a good shop in Decatur, started bringing home steady money. I thought, now I can slow down. Now we can breathe. But Emily wanted to go to private school. "The public schools here aren't safe, Pat," Michael said. "You want our baby girl getting a good education, right?" "Right. Of course." So I picked up extra shifts, worked overnight in the ER because it paid double. I'd see Michael for maybe an hour a day, kiss Emily goodnight over FaceTime from the hospital break room, and tell myself it was worth it. Joshua came in 2005, another surprise, but a blessing. By then I'd been a nurse for 12 years, and my body was starting to show it. Varicose veins, chronic back pain. But babies are expensive, so I worked through my pregnancy until the day my water broke. Literally finished a shift, drove to the hospital, and delivered 8 hours later. I wore the same burgundy dress to 3 weddings between 2010 and 2013. My cousins. Michael's nephews. Our neighbors. Everyone else had new outfits, but I'd tell people, "Oh, I just love this dress so much." Truth was, every extra dollar went to Emily's college fund. She wanted to go to Spelman. Do you know what Spelman costs? But I made it happen. I made it happen by skipping lunches, by driving my car until it literally died, by telling myself new clothes didn't matter. Then in 2015, Michael's sister Denise needed a kidney. Lupus had destroyed hers, and she was dying. The whole family got tested. I was the only match. "You don't have to do this," Michael said, but his eyes were begging. "She's my baby sister, Pat, but you don't owe her nothing." I gave her my kidney. Took 8 weeks to recover. Lost my position as head nurse because I was gone too long. Never got it back. Denise lived. She never thanked me. Not once. But I told myself, family is family. Emily graduated from Spelman in 2023. I was so proud I thought my chest would burst. She got a good job in marketing, moved into a nice apartment in Midtown. "Mom, I couldn't have done this without you," she said at her graduation party, the one I catered myself, making food for 50 people in my tiny kitchen. Joshua started community college last year. I'd wanted to finally go back and get my BSN, move up, make more money, hurt less, but his tuition came first. It always did. Just one more year, I told myself. One more year, and then it's my turn. But somewhere in there, things changed. Michael started coming home late, backed up at the shop. He'd say, smelling like cologne I didn't buy him. I'd ask, "Want dinner?" And he'd grunt, "Already ate," and disappear into the bedroom with his phone. Emily stopped calling as much, too busy with work, with her friends, with her life. I understood. She was young, finding herself. But sometimes I'd see her posts on Instagram at brunches, at parties, at concerts, and think, when did I become the person she shares with instead of the person she shares life with? Joshua got entitled. He'd call only when he needed something, money usually. "Mom, can you Venmo me $200? "No, please. No, thank you. Just expectation. Like I was an ATM machine in Scrubs, and I ignored it, all of it. Because that's what Black women do, right? We hold it down. We sacrifice. We give and give and give until there's nothing left but the memory of who we used to be. I ignored Michael's phone calls that he'd take outside. I ignored Emily's vague answers about why she couldn't visit. I ignored Joshua's assumption that my money was his money. I ignored the feeling that I'd become invisible in my own family until that Instagram post made it impossible to ignore anymore. They'd gone to celebrate my birthday, a birthday they knew mattered to me, that I'd talked about for weeks, and they didn't even think to wait, didn't think to call, didn't think I was worth the inconvenience of picking me up after my shift. 28 years. I'd given them 28 years, and they couldn't give me 2 hours. I heard them before I saw them. Loud voices, laughter bouncing off the hallway walls of our quiet neighborhood at 11:47 p.m. I'd pulled myself off the kitchen floor an hour ago, washed my face, changed out of my scrubs. I was sitting at the kitchen table in the dark when they stumbled in. Michael first, his shirt untucked, tie loosened, smelling like hot sauce and beer. He stopped when he saw me sitting there, and something flickered across his face. Guilt? Fear? It was gone too fast to tell. "Pat, hey baby, you're still up." Emily came in behind him, Joshua trailing with his phone out. They both froze. "Happy birthday, Mom," Emily said, her voice bright but brittle. She rushed over to hug me, and I could smell the restaurant on her. Fried chicken, collard greens, my favorite foods. She pulled back quickly. "We missed you tonight." "Did you?" The words came out flat, calm. They should have heard the danger in that calm, but they didn't. "You know how it is," Michael said, opening the fridge and grabbing a beer. A beer. After eating my birthday dinner without me. "We figured you'd be exhausted from your shift. Didn't want to make you drive all the way out there. The restaurant is 20 minutes away." "Yeah, but..." He shrugged. "You know, long shift and all. We thought you'd rather rest." Joshua finally looked up from his phone. "It was actually pretty fun, Mom. The food was fire. Oh, hey." He walked over to the counter and picked up a small styrofoam container. "We saved you some cake." He opened it. Inside was a slice about 2 inches wide, the frosting smashed on one side, a single candle bent, stuck in the middle. "See?" Joshua grinned like he'd done me a favor. "We didn't forget you." Something inside me went very, very cold. "How thoughtful," I said quietly. Emily caught my tone. "Mom, we really are sorry. It was just..." She glanced at Michael. "Dad said you texted him that you were running late, so we went ahead and..." "I never texted that." Silence. Michael took a long drink of his beer, not meeting my eyes. "Well, whatever happened," Emily continued, her voice taking on that frustrated edge she used when she thought I was being difficult. "The important thing is, we celebrated you. We toasted you. Everyone at the table was talking about how amazing you are." Everyone at the table. I stood up slowly, where I wasn't. "Pat," Michael started. "I'm tired," I said, cutting him off. "I'm going to bed. You should too, Michael. You look exhausted from all that celebrating." I walked past him toward our bedroom. That's when his jacket, slung over the chair, slipped to the floor. His phone fell out of the pocket, the screen lighting up. A text notification. From Amanda. "Tonight was perfect. Can't wait for next time." I picked up the phone. Michael's face went white. "I'll just put this on the charger for you," I said sweetly. Then I went to the bedroom and locked the door. I didn't sleep. Couldn't. Michael's phone sat on my nightstand, face down, buzzing every 20 minutes with his increasingly frantic knocks on the bedroom door. "Pat, open up. It's not what you think." It never is it? At 3 a.m., I picked up his phone. He was too predictable. His passcode was still Emily's birthday. The messages to Amanda loaded, and my stomach twisted. 6 months. 6 months of baby and miss you, and she has no idea. 6 months of planning date nights and weekend getaways while I worked doubles. But then I found something worse. A thread with his brother. Dated 3 weeks ago. Michael. "Lawyer says I should move money before I file." Marcus. "You sure about this?" Michael. "She's never around anyway. Kids are grown. Time to start over." Marcus. "What about the house?" Michael. "She inherited it, but I've lived here 28 years. Lawyer says I got a case for half." My house. The house my grandmother left me. He wanted half. There was more. Credit card statements he'd hidden. $45,000 in debt from taking Amanda to Nice restaurants, weekend trips, jewelry, while telling me we couldn't afford to fix my car. Bank statements showing he'd opened a secret account, been funneling money there for 8 months. By the time dawn broke through the curtains, I'd seen it all. The affair, the financial betrayal, the exit strategy he'd been building while I worked myself to death, keeping his family fed. At 6 a.m., I made the call. "Pat, Jesus, it's 6 in the morning. What's wrong?" Barbara Chen, my college roommate from nursing school, now one of the best family lawyers in Atlanta. We'd stayed close over the years, met for coffee once a month when my schedule allowed. She'd divorced her own cheating husband 5 years ago and walked away with everything. "Barb, I need you." I told her everything. The birthday, the phone, the affair, the money. When I finished, there was a long silence. Pat, before we talk about divorce, tell me about your assets. Walk me through what you own. The house is mine. Grandma left it to me in 2008. Michael's name isn't on the deed. We never got around to adding it. Smart woman, your grandma, what else? I've been putting away money, overtime pay, every extra shift for the last 15 years. Separate account he doesn't know about. How much? Last time I checked, about $180,000. Barbara's breath caught. Pat, does he know about this money? No, I wanted it to be a surprise for our retirement or Emily's wedding or, I don't know, something special. Oh, honey, Barbara said, and I could hear the smile in her voice. It's going to be something special, all right. Here's what we're going to do. We're not just getting you a divorce. We're going to educate this man on what happens when you betray a woman who's been holding your entire life together. How long will this take? As long as it needs to. Pat, one call to the right people, and we can do more than divorce. We can make sure he never forgets the cost of making you invisible. I looked at Michael's phone, still buzzing with his desperate texts. Then let's make the call, I said. The next morning, I woke up before Michael. He'd finally stopped knocking around 4 a.m., probably passed out on the couch. I could hear him snoring through the door. I got up, did my makeup carefully, put on my favorite scrubs, the navy blue ones that made me look professional and put together, and walked out of that bedroom like nothing had happened. Michael was sprawled on the couch, still in yesterday's clothes, his phone clutched in one hand. I stood there for a moment, watching him sleep. 28 years. I'd loved this man for 28 years, and he'd been planning to rob me blind. "Morning, baby," I said sweetly, nudging his shoulder. "You slept out here." He jerked awake, eyes wild. "Pat, we need to talk about—" "Not now, honey. I'm already late for my shift." I grabbed my keys. Gave him a smile that didn't reach my eyes. "We'll talk later. Get some rest." I left him sitting there, mouth open, confused as hell. Good. At the hospital, I went through my shift on autopilot, changed IVs, took vitals, smiled at patients, but my mind was somewhere else. I was planning. During my lunch break, I called Barbara back. "I need a private investigator," I told her. "Someone good, someone discreet." "I know just the guy, Marcus Rivera. Retired detective, works private now. He's expensive, but worth every penny." By the end of my shift, I had an appointment scheduled for the next day. 1 week. I'd give myself 1 week to play the perfect wife while Marcus dug up everything Michael thought he'd buried. That week was the hardest acting job of my life. I cooked dinner. I smiled. I asked about his day at the shop. Michael was nervous at first, walking on eggshells, but by day 3 he started to relax. Started to think maybe I hadn't seen those texts. Maybe I was just mad about the birthday thing and would get over it like I always did. Men, they really do think we're stupid. On day 4, Emily called. "Mom, can we talk about the birthday thing?" "Sure, baby, what's up?" I feel bad. We should have waited for you. Dad said you'd texted him, but I should have called to confirm. I'm sorry." I could hear the guilt in her voice. Good. Let her sit in it a little longer. "It's okay, sweetheart. We all make mistakes." "Thanks, Mom. You're the best. Hey, can I ask you something? Are you and Dad okay? He seems stressed." "We're fine. Why?" "I don't know. Just a feeling." A feeling. My daughter had a feeling but didn't care enough to dig deeper. Didn't care enough to ask me directly if something was wrong. Just wanted reassurance so she could go back to her comfortable life. "Everything's fine, Em. Don't worry about us." I met Marcus on my day off at a coffee shop in Buckhead where nobody I knew would see us. He was in his 50s, Hispanic, with salt and pepper hair and kind eyes that had seen too much. Former Atlanta PD, Barbara said. 20 years on the force before he retired. "Mrs. Thompson," he said, shaking my hand, "Barbara told me a little about your situation. I'm sorry you're going through this." I handed him a folder. Everything I'd compiled, Michael's texts, the bank statements I'd found, Amanda's full name and address, screenshots of my family's social media. I need to know everything, I said. The affair. How long, where they meet, who knows about it. The money, where it's going, what he's planning. And I need to know about my kids, what they knew and when. Marcus flipped through the folder, his face impassive. This is good preliminary work. Give me a week. I'll have answers. A week later, Marcus called. Mrs. Thompson, can you come to my office? I have a full report. You'll want to sit down for this. I drove to his office in Marietta, my hands steady on the wheel even though my heart was racing. He had a folder waiting, a thick one. Let's start with the affair, Marcus said, opening to the first section. Amanda Winters, age 26, works as a marketing coordinator at a tech startup. And yes, she was Emily's roommate at Spelman, junior year. My stomach dropped. Emily's roommate? Your daughter introduced them at her graduation party last year. According to witnesses I interviewed, Michael and Amanda hit it off immediately, started texting within a week. Physical affair began about 6 months ago. 6 months, right around Christmas, while I was working doubles so we could afford nice gifts for everyone. Who knows? Your son Joshua definitely knows. I have text messages between him and your husband where Joshua calls Amanda by name, asks how the situation is going. He's known for at least 4 months. 4 months. My baby boy had known his father was cheating on me for 4 months and said nothing. And Emily? Marcus hesitated. She suspected. I found messages between her and Amanda where Emily asked if Amanda was seeing someone. Amanda was evasive, but Emily didn't push. My assessment? She knew something was off but didn't want to confirm it. Willful ignorance. I closed my eyes. Both my children. Both of them had chosen their father over me. The finances? I asked, my voice steady even though I wanted to scream. Marcus slid over another section. This is where it gets interesting. Your husband has been systematically draining your joint accounts for 8 months. Small amounts at first. $200 here, $500 there. Nothing you'd notice with your shift schedule. It adds up to about $23,000 moved into his private account. $23,000. But wait, there's more. Marcus's voice took on an edge. He's also been taking Amanda out to expensive restaurants. Bacchanalia, Canoe, The Optimist, spending $300, $500 per dinner. He bought her jewelry from Tiffany's, a $2,800 necklace. Took her to a weekend trip to Savannah in March, all on credit cards you didn't know about, all in his name only. The credit card debt, $45,000. Now it made sense. And here's the kicker, Marcus said, pulling out bank statements. Those family dinners he told you about? The ones where he said money was tight so you couldn't join? I have receipts. He took your kids to dinner at high-end places 12 times in the last 6 months, spent an average of $200 per meal, and on July 18th, your birthday, he spent $340 at Pascal's for 3 people. My birthday dinner. He'd spent $340 on my birthday dinner, without me. I need copies of everything, I said. Marcus handed me a flash drive. It's all here. Photos, bank statements, text messages, witness statements. Mrs. Thompson? He looked at me with something like admiration. Whatever you're planning, make it count. Oh, I would. 2 days later, I sat in Barbara's office with a woman named Denise Walker. She was in her 60s, black like me, with steel gray hair and eyes that had seen every trick in the book. She was Barbara's accountant, the one who'd helped Barbara clean out her ex-husband's accounts when he tried to leave her with nothing. Patricia, Denise said, shaking my hand with a grip like iron. Barbara's told me your story. Let's talk numbers. She spread documents across the conference table. My life reduced to spreadsheets. Your separate investment account, Denise said, pointing. 15 years of overtime pay invested conservatively. Current value, $184,227. I'd never heard the exact number out loud before. It felt surreal. The house, Barbara continued, current market value based on recent comps in your neighborhood, $425,000. Solely in your name, inherited from your grandmother in 2008. Your husband has no legal claim to it." "What about his argument that he's lived there 28 years?" I asked. Barbara smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. "Georgia is an equitable distribution state, not community property. The house was a gift to you, not marital property. His residence there doesn't change ownership. He has zero claim." "Joint checking and savings accounts," Denise continued. "Combined total, $47,000, half of which is legally yours. Your husband has already stolen. And yes, Pat, it's stealing $23,000 from these accounts. We'll address that." "His debt," Barbara said, sliding over credit card statements. $45,000 in credit cards, all in his name only. Not your responsibility. We'll make sure it stays that way." "His assets?" I asked. "His truck, worth about $15,000. His tools, maybe $8,000. His 401k from the shop, approximately $67,000. Half of that is yours in a divorce. It's marital property, so you'd get $33,500. Denise leaned forward. "But here's where we get creative. Based on Marcus's report, your husband has been committing fraud." "Fraud?" "He forged your signature on credit card applications. I found 3 cards where your name appears as a co-applicant, but you never signed. That's identity theft, a federal crime. He also forged your signature on a loan application for his shop renovation last year." My hands clenched. "I never authorized that." "Exactly. We have samples of your signature. These don't match. We can prove forgery." Barbara pulled out another folder. "Here's the strategy. First, we file for divorce. No fault, irreconcilable differences. Simple and clean. While that's processing, we report the fraud, anonymously at first, which triggers investigations. IRS gets involved with his shop looking for unreported income. Credit card companies flag the accounts. His world starts collapsing, but it looks like natural consequences. Not you." "What about custody issues? Child support?" "Your kids are adults. No custody issues. No child support. But here's something interesting." Barbara pulled up a document. "Joshua's tuition. You've been paying it directly from your account, yes?" "Yes, $4,000 per semester." "Stop, immediately. You're under no legal obligation to pay for an adult child's education. If he wants college, he can take out loans like everyone else." "What about Emily?" "She has a job. She doesn't need your money." "And Pat?" Barbara's voice softened. "I know you want to be generous. But these kids stood by while their father betrayed you. They need to learn that actions have consequences." "There's one more thing," I said quietly. I'd been holding this back, unsure if I should use it. But looking at these numbers, seeing the scope of Michael's betrayal, I knew I had to. "I have a neighbor, Mrs. Chen. She's seen Michael bringing Amanda to the house." "When?" Barbara sat up straighter. "At least 3 times that she knows of. When I was working night shifts. They'd go in around 8 p.m., leave around midnight." Denise whistled. "In your house? The one you own?" "That's trespassing," Barbara said, "and we can use it. Mrs. Chen willing to testify?" "I'll ask her." I left that meeting with a 3-ring binder full of documents and a plan, but I also left with something else, hope. For the first time since I found those texts, I felt like I wasn't drowning. I was swimming, strong, purposeful strokes toward shore. That afternoon, I did something I hadn't done in years. I went to the salon, not the cheap place where I usually got my hair trimmed, a real salon in Midtown, the kind with floor-to-ceiling windows and champagne. "I want something new," I told the stylist, "something that says I'm done playing small." 2 hours later, I walked out with a sleek bob, subtle highlights, and a bounce in my step. I passed a boutique and went in, bought myself a new dress, emerald green, fitted, expensive. I bought new heels, new lipstick. At home, I stood in front of the mirror. The woman looking back at me wasn't the exhausted nurse who'd cried on the kitchen floor 2 weeks ago. This woman had steel in her spine, fire in her eyes. Michael came home while I was in the bedroom, trying on my new dress. "Pat, you here?" "In the bedroom," I called. He opened the door, stopped, stared. "You look different." "Do I?" I turned, letting him see the full effect. I needed a change. Do you like it? Yeah, it's nice. What's the occasion? No occasion. I just decided I'm worth it. Don't you think I'm worth it, Michael? His face went pale. Of course you are, baby. You know that. Do I? I smiled, walked past him. I'm going out with Barbara tonight. Don't wait up. I left him standing there, confusion written all over his face. The balance of power was shifting, and he could feel it. 3 days later, Michael made his move. I'd just gotten home from a shift, was taking off my shoes, when he sat down at the kitchen table with that serious look on his face. The one that said he'd rehearsed what he was about to say. Pat, we need to talk. About what, honey? I opened the fridge, pulled out leftovers. About us. Our marriage. I think we've been drifting apart lately and... You want a divorce. I said it casually like I was commenting on the weather. He blinked. That's not what I was going to say. No? I turned to face him, leaning against the counter. Then what were you going to say? I just think we need to talk about where we're at, what we want. The kids are grown, and maybe it's time we reassess. Reassess our marriage? Well, yeah. I mean, you're always working, and I barely see you, and I'm always working, I repeated softly. That's interesting. Tell me, Michael, why am I always working? What? Why do I work double shifts? Take extra hours? Come home so tired I can barely stand? He shifted uncomfortably. You like your job? Try again. Pat, I don't know what you want me to say. I want you to say the truth. I work extra hours so we can afford the life you've gotten used to. So Emily could go to Spelman. So Joshua can go to college. So you can have your big screen TV and your new truck and your... I stopped myself. Not yet. But you're right. We should talk. Just not now. What do you mean, not now? I mean, I'm tired, Michael. Exhausted, actually, from all that working. So let's table this conversation for another time. Maybe next month? Next month? His voice rose. Pat, this is serious. Is it? Because you didn't think my birthday was serious enough to wait 2 hours for me. So forgive me if I'm not jumping to have serious conversations on your timeline. I walked toward the bedroom, then paused. Oh, and Michael, if you want a divorce, you'll need a lawyer. That costs money. Hope you've been saving. I closed the door before he could respond, but I heard him slam his fist on the table, heard him curse under his breath. Good, let him stew. The next day, Emily called. Hey, Mom, so rent's due next week and I'm a little short. Can you Venmo me like $400? For 24 years, I'd never said no to my daughter. Never. If she needed money, I sent it. No questions asked. No, I said. Silence. What? I said no, Emily. But, Mom, I need it for rent. I'll pay you back. You've been working for over a year now. Where's your money going? I have expenses. Student loans, car payment, insurance. So did I at your age. I managed. Mom, are you seriously doing this right now? Over the birthday thing? I said I was sorry. This isn't about the birthday. Then what's it about? It's about the fact that you're 24 years old with a good job, and you should be able to pay your own rent. It's about teaching you to stand on your own 2 feet. I can't believe this. Her voice went cold. Fine. I'll figure it out myself. Good. I'm proud of you. Mom, I love you, Emily. And because I love you, I'm not going to keep enabling you to avoid adulthood. You're smart. You're capable. You'll figure it out. I hung up before she could argue more. My hands were shaking, but I felt powerful, strong. 5 minutes later, Michael called. What the hell did you say to Emily? She just called me crying. I told her no. She needs rent money. Then you give it to her. I don't have it right now. Things are tight at the shop. Are they? I kept my voice light. That's strange, because we went to that expensive restaurant for my birthday. Oh, wait, no. You went to that expensive restaurant without me. That was different. How? Pat, what is going on with you? Ever since your birthday, you've been acting strange. Strange or just different? Maybe I'm tired of being taken for granted. Maybe I'm tired of being the only one who sacrifices. Maybe I'm tired of being invisible. You're not invisible. Really? Then why didn't you wait for me at dinner? Why didn't you think I was worth 2 hours of your time? He was silent. That's what I thought, I said. Now I have to go. I have a shift in an hour. We're not done talking about this. Oh, we're very done for now. I hung up and sat down on the couch, my heart racing. Every conversation, every small refusal, every moment I stood up for myself. It was like reclaiming pieces of my soul that I'd given away over the years, and it felt amazing. 2 weeks after my actual birthday, I sent out invitations, 30 of them, to family, church friends, co-workers, neighbors. Everyone except Amanda, of course. You're invited to Patricia's birthday celebration, the redo edition. Let's celebrate the right way this time. Saturday, August 10th, 6 p.m., my house. Michael found the invitation on the counter. What's this? My birthday party, the one I should have had. Pat, don't you think this is a little what? Extra, over the top? I smiled at him. Maybe. But I deserve a celebration, don't you think? Of course, but great. So, you'll be there. 6 o'clock. Dress nice. I called Emily and Joshua personally. I'm having a birthday party. I expect you both there. Mom, I have plans that night, Joshua started. Cancel them. But, Joshua, I am your mother. I have asked you for exactly one thing. You will be at my birthday party, or you and I are going to have a much more serious conversation. Do you understand? Silence. Then, fine, I'll be there. Emily was quieter. Of course I'll be there, Mom. I'm sorry about the money thing. We'll talk at the party. The day of the party, I went all out. Catered soul food from a local restaurant. Fried chicken, mac and cheese, collard greens, cornbread, sweet tea. I hired a bartender. I decorated with gold and white balloons. I bought myself a birthday cake from the fancy bakery, 3 layers with gold leaf. I wore my new emerald dress and those heels. Did my makeup like I was going to war, because I was. People started arriving at 5:45. Aunt Lorraine came first, my mama's older sister, fierce and sharp-tongued at 68. She took one look at me and whistled. Baby girl, you look like you swallowed sunshine. What's going on? Just celebrating myself, Auntie. And where's that husband of yours? He'll be here. My co-workers from the hospital came next. Sheila, who'd worked alongside me for 15 years. Marcus, the charge nurse. Dr. Patterson, who always requested me for difficult cases. They hugged me, brought gifts, told me I looked amazing. Patricia, this is beautiful, Sheila said. You deserve this. Michael showed up at 6:15, looking uncomfortable in slacks and a button-down. Emily arrived with him, Joshua trailing behind, both of them stiff and awkward. There's my family, I said loudly enough for everyone to hear. So glad you could make it to my birthday celebration. Emily flinched. Joshua wouldn't meet my eyes. By 7 p.m. the house was full. Music played. People laughed. I moved through the crowd, accepting hugs and birthday wishes, and I felt seen. Actually, seen. At 7:30, I clinked my glass. Everyone, can I have your attention? The room quieted. I just want to say thank you. Thank you all for being here tonight, for showing up, for making me feel celebrated and loved and special. I let my eyes land on Michael, Emily, Joshua, because that's what birthdays are about, aren't they? Showing the people we love that they matter, that their presence in our lives is a gift, that we're willing to make time for them no matter how busy we are. Aunt Lorraine was watching Michael like a hawk. She'd always had good instincts. So thank you, I continued. Thank you for being the kind of people who show up, who keep their promises, who value the relationships in their lives. Thank you for seeing me. The room erupted in applause. People hugged me. Sheila had tears in her eyes. I saw Michael try to slip outside to the porch. Aunt Lorraine cut him off. Michael, she said, her voice carrying, you look uncomfortable. Something wrong? No, ma'am, just getting some air. You look guilty, boy. Like you did something wrong and you're waiting to get caught. She stepped closer. Did you do something wrong? No, because Pat is family, my blood, and if someone hurt her, I'd want to know about it. Michael's face went pale. Everything's fine, Miss Lorraine. Is it? Then why did my niece have to throw herself a birthday party? Where were you on her actual birthday? We celebrated. We went to dinner. Without her, I heard. The nearby conversations quieted. People were listening now. It was a miscommunication, Michael stammered. A miscommunication. Aunt Lorraine let the words hang in the air. What kind of man miscommunicates about his wife's birthday? Auntie, I called out, saving Michael from further interrogation. Come help me cut the cake. I'd timed it perfectly. Everyone gathered around as I stood with the knife, my beautiful 3-layer cake in front of me. 52 candles blazing. Make a wish, Patricia, someone called. I looked at Michael across the room. At Emily, who looked miserable. At Joshua, who was texting someone, probably complaining. I closed my eyes, made my wish, blew out every single candle. The room cheered. What did you wish for? Sheila asked. Can't tell or it won't come true. I smiled. But let's just say I wished for exactly what I deserve. After cake, Dr. Patterson pulled me aside. Patricia, I've been meaning to tell you. That promotion we discussed, the position opened up. Head nurse, day shift, 20% raise. I want you to apply. Day shift? Normal hours, better pay. You'd still do what you love, but you'd have evenings and weekends free. You've earned it, Pat. 25 years of nights and doubles. Time to take care of yourself. I thought about Michael, about the divorce papers Barbara was preparing, about the fact that I wouldn't need to work myself to death anymore because I'd be keeping everything that was mine. I'll apply, I said. As the party wound down, I announced one more thing. Oh, and everyone? I'm taking a week off next month. Self-care trip. I'm going to the spa, maybe do some hiking. Just me, taking care of me for once. Emily looked surprised. You hate traveling alone. No, I corrected. I told myself I hated traveling alone because it was easier than admitting no one wanted to travel with me. Big difference. The last guests left around 10 p.m. Michael, Emily, and Joshua stood in the kitchen, surrounded by dirty dishes and empty plates. That was nice, Mom, Emily said quietly. It was, I agreed. It's amazing what happens when people actually show up for you. No one had a response to that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm exhausted. Long day. You 3 can clean up. I went to my bedroom and locked the door, leaving them to deal with the mess, just like I'd been dealing with their messes for 28 years. The family group chat had been quiet since my birthday, just the occasional logistical text. Who's picking up Grandma? What time is Easter dinner? That kind of thing. It was time to wake it up. I sat on my bed with Michael's phone. I'd cloned it weeks ago using software Marcus provided and found the perfect screenshot. A text from Amanda to Michael, dated 3 days after my birthday. Amanda, I can't stop thinking about you. When can I see you again? I hate that you have to go home to her. Michael, soon, baby. She's been acting weird lately, but it'll blow over. It always does. I took a screenshot. Sent it to the family group chat at exactly 3 p.m. on a Tuesday, when everyone would be checking their phones. Then I waited. My phone exploded. Emily, Mom, what is this? Joshua, where did you get this? Emily, is this real? Dad? Emily, Mom, answer. Joshua, calm down, Em. Emily, calm down? Joshua, did you know about this? Joshua, Emily, oh my God, you knew. Emily, you knew Dad was cheating and you didn't tell me? Joshua, it's not that simple. Emily, how is it not that simple? Emily, Mom, are you okay? Say something. I let them spiral for 10 more minutes. Let the accusations fly. Let Emily's trust in Joshua shatter the way mine had shattered. Then, me. I'm fine, sweetie. Just thought it was time we all had the same information. Emily, how long have you known? Me, long enough. Emily, Dad? Say something? Is this real? Michael, we need to talk about this in person, not over text. Emily, You've been cheating on Mom? Michael, it's complicated. Things with your mom and I haven't been good for a while. Emily, so that makes it okay? And Amanda? My college roommate, Amanda? My phone rang. Emily, I let it go to voicemail. She called again. Voicemail. The third time, I answered. Mom, I'm coming over. I'm not home. I'm at work. Then I'll wait. Emily, I don't have time for this right now. I have patients who need me. Mom, please, I need to know you're okay. I'm better than okay, baby. I'm clear-eyed for the first time in years. What does that mean? It means I see everything now, everything I was too tired or too devoted or too stupid to see before. Mom, I have to go. There's a patient coding in room 4. I hung up. There was no patient coding, but she didn't need to know that. Michael got home before me. I knew he would. I'd timed this for a day I had a late shift. When I pulled into the driveway at 9 p.m., every light in the house was on. Michael's truck was there. So was Emily's car. I walked in to find them in the living room. Michael pacing. Emily on the couch, crying. There you are, Michael said, his voice tight. We need to talk. Now. Do we? You had no right to send that text. Didn't I? It was your text, Michael. Your words. I just shared them with the family. You went through my phone. Actually, I didn't have to. You're shockingly careless with your passcodes. I set down my bag, kicked off my shoes. But yes, I saw your messages. All of them. To Amanda. To your brother. To your lawyer. Emily's head snapped up. Lawyer? Didn't you know? I looked at Michael. Your father was planning to divorce me. Has been for months. He's just been waiting for the right time. After he moved enough money out of our accounts, got his financial ducks in a row. Isn't that right, Michael? His face went from red to white. That's not... You're twisting things. Am I? Want me to show Emily the texts to your brother about moving money? About how I'm never around anyway, so it'll be easy? About how you think you deserve half my house? Your house? Emily looked confused. Grandma's house, I corrected. That she left to me. That your father's name has never been on. Dad? Emily's voice was small. Is this true? Michael's shoulders sagged. I was going to tell you, both of you. I was waiting for the right time. The right time? I laughed, and it came out bitter. Like you waited for the right time to tell me you were sleeping with our daughter's college roommate. Like you waited for the right time to steal $23,000 from our joint accounts? When exactly is the right time for betrayal, Michael? $23,000? Emily whispered. Oh, there's more. Want to know about the credit card debt? The $45,000 he racked up taking Amanda on dates while telling me we couldn't afford to fix my car? Mom, I didn't know, but your brother did. I turned to the stairs. Joshua, get down here. Silence. I know you're up there, boy. Get down here. Joshua appeared at the top of the stairs, his face sullen. What? Tell your sister. Tell her how long you've known about Amanda. I don't have to tell her anything. Fine. I'll tell her. 4 months, Emily. Your brother has known for 4 months that your father was cheating on me. Emily turned to Joshua, betrayal written across her face. You knew? Dad's an adult. It's his business. His business? My voice went cold. Your father betraying your mother is just his business? You're never home anyway, Joshua shot back. Always at work. Maybe if you'd been around more. Don't you dare. The words came out like a whip crack. Don't you dare blame me for your father's choices. I worked those hours for you, for your tuition, your car, your phone, your everything. I worked myself to the bone so you could have a better life than I did. And this is how you repay me. By defending the man who destroyed our family? You're being dramatic. Dramatic. I walked toward the stairs. Get out. What? Out of my house. Both of you. I looked at Michael. You have until tomorrow morning to get your essentials. The rest we'll deal with through lawyers. Pat, you can't just... Watch me. This is my house. You are not on the deed. You are not on the mortgage. You are a guest who has overstayed his welcome. So get out. Mom, wait, Emily started. Not you, honey. You can stay if you want to talk. But your father and brother, they need to leave. Now. Michael's face went through several emotions. Anger, fear, disbelief. You're serious. As a heart attack, which, by the way, I've seen plenty of in the ER. Know what causes them? Stress. Years and years of stress and betrayal and sacrifice. So yes, Michael. I'm dead serious. You can't kick me out of my own house. Your house? I pulled out my phone, showed him a photo of the deed. See that name? Patricia Davis Thompson. Just my name, because it's my house. Always has been. I pulled out my phone and dialed. Yes, I need to report a trespassing situation. My soon-to-be ex-husband is refusing to leave my property. Michael's eyes went wide. You wouldn't. Try me. He grabbed his keys. Fine, but this isn't over. Oh, it's very over. Your lawyer will be hearing from mine. Joshua followed him without a word. Emily stayed on the couch, crying. I sat down next to her after they left. Baby girl, I know this is hard. Did you know, she asked, at the birthday dinner, when you asked us all there? I suspected, now I know. And you've just been, what, planning this? No. I've been planning to protect myself. There's a difference. She wiped her eyes. I should have asked more questions. About Amanda. About Dad. I knew something was off, but I didn't want to deal with it. And that's a choice you made, Emily. Just like your brother chose to keep your father's secret. Actions have consequences. Are you going to forgive them? Eventually? Maybe. Right now? No. Right now, I'm going to choose me. The next morning, I made 3 phone calls before my coffee was even brewed. First call, to the bank. Yes, I need to freeze all joint accounts, immediately. Authorization code, it's Patricia Thompson, account holder. My ID number is... Within an hour, every joint account was frozen. Michael would have access to nothing. Second call, to the credit card companies. I need to report fraudulent activity on my accounts. Several charges I didn't authorize. Yes, I'd like to dispute them. Third call, to Barbara. It's done, he's out, and I've cut off his access to money. Perfect. Now we wait and watch. I didn't have to wait long. My phone rang at noon. Michael. I let it go to voicemail. He called again. Again. On the 5th call, I answered. What, Michael? My card's not working. None of them are working. That's strange. Pat, I need access to our accounts. Our accounts or my accounts? Don't play games. I need money for a hotel, for food. You should have thought about that before you spent $45,000 on your girlfriend. I need my clothes, my stuff. I packed a bag. It's on the porch. You can pick it up whenever. 1 bag? I have a whole closet full, and you'll get it? Eventually. Through the lawyers. Right now, you get 1 bag of essentials. This is insane. You're being vindictive. No, Michael, I'm being practical. I'm protecting my assets from a man who stole from me. Big difference. I hung up. 20 minutes later, Emily called. Mom, Dad called me. He says you froze everything. I did. He can't even buy groceries. He can stay with his brother. Marcus has money. Mom, this is extreme. Is it? He stole $23,000 from me, Emily. He was planning to take half my house. Was I supposed to just let that continue? No, but what? You think I should keep funding the man who betrayed me? Keep funding his affair? Keep making it easy for him to destroy me? Silence. Emily, I love you, but you need to understand something. I spent 28 years putting everyone else first. Your father, you, Joshua, everyone but me. And where did it get me? Alone on my birthday. Cheated on, stolen from, disrespected? Well, no more. From now on, I put me first. I get that, but do you? Because from where I'm standing, you're still making excuses for him, still trying to smooth things over, still asking me to sacrifice so everyone else can be comfortable. That's not fair. Fair? Let me tell you about fair. Fair would have been your father staying faithful. Fair would have been you asking me how I was doing instead of asking me for rent money. Fair would have been your brother telling me the truth instead of keeping secrets. but none of you did those things. So now I'm going to be unfair, and it's going to feel amazing." That afternoon, Joshua left me a voicemail. "Mom, you need to release Dad's money, and you need to send me my tuition payment. It's due Friday." I called him back. "No." "What do you mean, no?" "I mean no, Joshua. I'm not paying your tuition this semester." "Are you serious? I'll get dropped from my classes." "Then I suggest you apply for financial aid, student loans, get a job, figure it out." "You're punishing me because of Dad?" "No, I'm teaching you about consequences. You knew your father was cheating on me and said nothing. You defended him. You told me I was being dramatic. Those were choices, Joshua. Now you get to live with them. I'm your son. And you're also a grown man who needs to learn that loyalty matters, that integrity matters, that women, especially your mother, deserve respect. I can't believe you're doing this. I can't believe you kept your father's affairs secret from me for 4 months. But here we are." He hung up on me. I stared at my phone, waiting to feel guilty. I didn't. That evening, Amanda called. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity got the better of me. "Mrs. Thompson, it's Amanda. We need to talk." "Do we?" "It's about Michael. He's staying with me, and he can't contribute to rent or food or anything because you froze his accounts. And that's not fair. It's his money too." "Actually, it's not. It's money from joint accounts that he stole from. Money he spent on you, by the way. So if anyone should be paying his way, it's you." "I can't afford to support both of us." "Then I guess you have a decision to make, don't you? This is ridiculous. You're being petty." "Petty? I'm being petty?" I laughed. "Honey, I haven't even started. But let me tell you something. Michael is expensive. He likes nice restaurants, nice hotels, nice things. And right now, he's broke. So you're going to find out real quick what he's like when he can't pay his way, when he needs something from you instead of just taking what he wants. Have fun with that." He loves me. He loved me too. Once. 28 years ago. Then I got tired. Started showing my age. Got too busy working to pay for his life. You think you're different? You're not. You're just younger. Give it a few years. See where you end up. You're bitter. No, sweetheart, I'm free. There's a difference. I hung up and blocked her number. 3 days later, Emily called. Amanda broke up with Dad. Did she? She said he was too needy, too demanding, that she couldn't deal with his drama. Funny how that works. Mom, he's a mess. He's staying with Uncle Marcus and drinking every night. That's unfortunate. Can you please unfreeze at least one account so he can get back on his feet? No. Mom, Emily, stop. Every time one of you calls, it's to ask me to make things easier for him, to bail him out, to fix the problem. But here's the thing. I'm not his wife anymore. I'm not his safety net. He made his choices. Now he gets to live with them. When did you get so cold? I'm not cold, baby. I'm just done being warm to people who treat me like I don't matter. Emily showed up at my house on a Tuesday evening. I was making dinner, just for me, salmon and asparagus, when I heard her key in the lock. I'd forgotten she still had a key. She came into the kitchen, and I could see she'd been crying. Her eyes were puffy, her face drawn. Mom, can we talk? I gestured to the table. Sit. She sat, twisting her hands together. I've been thinking a lot about everything, and I need to tell you some things. I'm listening. The birthday dinner, Dad called me that morning, said you'd texted him that you were running late, that you probably wouldn't make it. He said we should go ahead without you because otherwise the reservation would be wasted. I never texted him that. I know. I asked to see the text later and he couldn't find it. Said he must have deleted it. She looked up at me. I should have questioned it. Should have called you to confirm, but I didn't. Because it was easier to just go along with what Dad said. Why? Because things had been tense. Between you and him, I could feel it. And I thought, I don't know, I thought maybe if we all just acted normal, everything would be fine. Like if I didn't acknowledge the problems, they'd go away. That's not how problems work, Emily. I know. God, I know that now. She wiped her eyes. After we got to the restaurant, Joshua mentioned something about Dad seeing someone. I asked what he meant, and he said to ask Dad, but I didn't. I didn't want to know. And then I saw Amanda's car in Dad's shop parking lot one day. I recognized it from college, and I thought, that's weird. But I talked myself out of it, made up excuses. Amanda was your roommate, your friend. She was never really my friend. We were just thrown together. But yeah, I should have told you my suspicions. I should have asked questions. I should have protected you. Yes, you should have. She flinched, but I wasn't going to soften it. She needed to hear the truth. When did you know for sure? I asked. When you sent that screenshot. Before that, I was in denial. Willful denial, like Barbara said. Barbara told you that? I called her. Asked her if I could talk to her as my mom's lawyer. She told me some things. About the money Dad stole. About the fraud. About how bad it really was. Fresh tears spilled down her cheeks. Mom, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You were working yourself to death for us, and we took it for granted. Took you for granted. Yes, you did. I don't know how to fix this. I'm not sure you can, Emily. Not completely. Some things, once broken, can't be put back exactly as they were. So we're just done? You're done with me? I sighed, sat down across from her. I'm not done with you. But I'm done with the version of our relationship where I give and you take, where I sacrifice and you benefit without appreciation, where I break myself into pieces so you can stay whole. What does that mean? It means if we're going to rebuild, it has to be different, equal. I need you to show up for me the way I've shown up for you. I need you to respect my boundaries, my decisions, my worth. I can do that. I want to do that. Can you? Because when I told you I wasn't paying Joshua's tuition, you called me cruel. When I froze the accounts, you called me extreme. Every time I've chosen myself, you've questioned it. So forgive me if I'm skeptical. You're right. You're completely right. She reached across the table, took my hand. I've been thinking about Dad, about how he treated you, and I realized I was doing the same thing. Not cheating, obviously, but taking you for granted, assuming you'd always be there to catch us, to fix everything, to sacrifice yourself so we could be okay. At least you recognize it. I want to be better. I want to be the daughter you deserve. Tell me how. Therapy, I said immediately. You need therapy to work through your role in this family dynamic, to understand why you chose to enable your father instead of protecting your mother. Okay, I'll find a therapist. And you pay your own way from now on. Rent, bills, everything. If you need help, you ask. You don't demand. And you accept my answer, whether it's yes or no. Okay. And you're honest with me. Even when it's uncomfortable. Even when it might start conflict. You tell me the truth. I promise. We sat in silence for a moment. Then she asked, "What about Joshua? What about him? Are you done with him? For real?" I don't know yet. Joshua made different choices than you did. He knew about the affair for months. He actively hid it. He defended your father. And even now, he's not apologizing. He's demanding I pay his tuition like I owe him something. Until he can acknowledge what he did wrong, I don't have space for him in my life. He's young. He's stupid. He'll come around. Maybe. Or maybe he'll become exactly like his father. Either way, that's his choice to make. This family is so broken. No, I corrected. This family was broken. It was broken for years. I was just the only one holding it together, and I didn't realize that by doing that, I was enabling all of you to keep breaking it. Now I've stopped holding it together, and yes, it's falling apart. But maybe that's what needs to happen. Maybe we need to break completely so we can decide what's worth rebuilding. I want to rebuild. With you. Then show me, Emily. Don't tell me. Show me. She nodded, wiping her eyes. Can I ask you something? Are you going to be okay? Like, really okay? I smiled. A real smile. You know what? I think I am. I'm sleeping better than I have in years. I got that promotion I applied for, head nurse, day shift. I'm going to have evenings free, weekends. Time to figure out who Patricia is when she's not killing herself for everyone else. I'm proud of you, Mom. Are you? Yeah, you're like a different person. Stronger. You're not letting anyone walk all over you anymore. I should have done it years ago. Maybe. But you're doing it now. That's what matters. She left an hour later, and I sat in my quiet house feeling something I hadn't felt in a long time. Hopeful. Not about my marriage. That was dead and buried. But about myself. About my future. About the woman I was becoming. Emily could be saved. She was trying. She was listening. Joshua, on the other hand, had sent me a text that afternoon. You're ruining my life. I hope you're happy. I was, actually. For the first time in years, I was genuinely happy. The discovery came from Marcus, my private investigator. He called me 3 weeks after I'd kicked Michael out. Mrs. Thompson, I found something. It's bad. How bad? Insurance fraud, bad. Your husband has been using your nursing credentials to falsify medical documents. My blood ran cold. What? For the past year, he's been signing off on workers' comp claims at his shop. Injuries, accidents, that kind of thing. But instead of having a doctor sign off, he's been forging signatures using your nursing license number. I found at least 15 cases. That's impossible. I know you didn't. That's why it's fraud. He's been putting your credentials on documents you never signed, never saw, never approved. If the insurance companies find out, you could lose your license. Oh my God. There's more. Some of these claims are suspicious, injuries that don't match the paperwork, severity ratings that seem inflated. I think he's been running a scam, helping his buddies get bigger settlements by faking the medical documentation. I sat down heavily. Can this be traced back to me? Right now? Maybe. But if you report it first, as a victim of identity theft, you'll be protected. The longer you wait, the more it looks like you might have been complicit. I didn't hesitate. What do I need to do? File a report with the medical board, then file with the police for identity theft. I'll provide all the documentation I've gathered. Once it's officially reported, investigations will start. His shop will be audited. The insurance companies will get involved. Do it. 2 days later, I filed the reports. I sat in a small office at the medical board, hands shaking, and explained how my ex-husband, I made sure to say ex-husband, even though the divorce wasn't final, had stolen my credentials and used them fraudulently. The woman across from me, a stern-faced investigator named Ms. Holder, reviewed the documents. Mrs. Thompson, this is serious. If we find you were involved... I wasn't. I worked night shifts, 12-hour rotations. I barely saw my husband, and I certainly never saw these documents. I'm the victim here. She studied me for a long moment. I believe you. We'll investigate. Expect follow-up calls. A week later, Michael showed up at the hospital. I was at the nurse's station reviewing charts when security called. Ma'am, there's a Michael Thompson here demanding to see you. Should we let him up? Absolutely not. If he doesn't leave, call the police. He left, but he called. Left voicemail after voicemail. You reported me to the medical board? Do you know what you've done? I protected myself. What you should have thought about before you stole my identity. They're auditing the shop, Pat. They're going through everything. They're going to find... What? What are they going to find, Michael? Silence. That's what I thought, I said. You weren't just committing insurance fraud. There's more. And now it's all going to come out. You've destroyed me. No, you destroyed yourself. I just stopped covering for you. The audit revealed everything. $30,000 in back taxes from unreported cash payments. Fraudulent workers' comp claims totaling $75,000. Forged documents with my signature. Some of Michael's clients were in on it, collecting settlements for fake injuries, splitting the money with Michael. Criminal charges were filed, not just civil, criminal. But the fallout didn't stop with Michael. Amanda's workplace, the tech startup where Emily had helped her get a job, got wind of the affair. Office relationships were technically allowed, but relationships with married men, that was against their ethics policy. Especially for someone in Amanda's position managing vendor relationships. She was fired. She called me. Somehow got my number. You did this. You told my boss. Actually, I didn't, but I'm not surprised someone did. Actions have consequences, Amanda. You helped destroy a marriage. Now your career's paying the price. I loved him. No, you didn't. You loved the attention, the thrill, the expensive dinners he couldn't actually afford. But love doesn't destroy families. You're a vindictive bitch. I'm a woman who refused to be a doormat. There's a difference. Joshua's tuition didn't get paid. By week 3 of the semester, he was dropped from his classes. He called me, furious. Mom, they dropped me. I'm not enrolled anymore. Okay, that's all you have to say? What do you want me to say, Joshua? I told you I wasn't paying. You chose not to believe me. You're punishing me because you hate Dad. I don't hate your father. I pity him. But this isn't about him. This is about you. You're 20 years old and you think the world owes you something, that I owe you something. I don't. You're my mother. And you're a grown man who needs to learn to stand on his own 2 feet. File for financial aid, get student loans, get a job, figure it out. I can't believe you're doing this. I can't believe you defended your father's affair and expected no consequences. But here we are. He hung up. I didn't hear from him for weeks, but I heard through the grapevine, Emily told me, that Michael's family was turning on him. His sister Denise, the one I'd given my kidney to, called him trash. His mother, who'd always been cold to me, apparently told him he'd made his bed and now had to lie in it. Even his brother Marcus, who'd been letting him stay at his place, kicked him out. You brought the cops to my door with your fraud investigation, Marcus told him. We're done. Michael ended up in a studio apartment in a rough part of town, working construction because his mechanic shop was shut down pending the criminal investigation. No more nice truck. He was driving a beat-up Honda. No more nights out. No more Amanda. Just consequences. And somewhere in all of that, I realized I didn't feel guilty. I didn't feel bad. I felt free. 3 months after I kicked Michael out, my life looked completely different. I'd started my new position as head nurse on day shift. I worked 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., Monday through Friday. I had evenings free, weekends, time. I joined a book club. Started going to yoga classes, went on a few dates. Nothing serious, just dinner with men who treated me like I mattered. I laughed more, slept better, lost weight without trying, the stress melting off my body like ice in summer. Emily had moved into my spare bedroom temporarily. She was seeing a therapist twice a week, working on herself. We had dinner together most nights, real conversations about real things. She paid rent, insisted on it. I need to contribute, Mom, to prove I'm different. And she was different. She asked how my day was and actually listened to the answer. She noticed when I was tired or stressed and made me tea. She showed up. I hadn't heard from Joshua in 6 weeks. Emily said he was working at a warehouse, living with his father in that studio apartment. He's angry, Mom, really angry. At me, at everything. At you for cutting him off, at Dad for the affair, at the universe for not giving him what he thinks he deserves. He'll figure it out eventually, or he won't. Either way, it's not my problem anymore. Patricia thriving was an understatement. I'd gotten my hair done again, bought new clothes. I was dating a man named David, 55, divorced, owned a bookstore in Virginia Highland. He was kind, thoughtful. He asked me questions and remembered the answers. "You're glowing," Sheila said one day at work. "I haven't seen you this happy in years." "I'm choosing myself," I told her. "For the first time in my adult life, I'm putting myself first. And it turns out, I'm pretty good company." Then, 3.5 months after everything exploded, Michael reached out, through Emily because I'd blocked his number. "He wants to have dinner," Emily said carefully. "To talk. He says he's ready to apologize." "Is he?" "I don't know, but Mom, he looks terrible. He's lost weight. He's not drinking anymore. He's in therapy. I think he might actually be trying to change. I thought about it. Fine. One dinner. Public place. And you're coming with me. Me? Insurance. I want a witness. We met at a chain restaurant. Nothing fancy. Neutral territory. Michael was already there when we arrived, sitting in a booth in the back. Emily was right. He looked terrible. Thinner. Older. Gray in his beard that hadn't been there before. "Pat," he said, standing up, "thanks for coming." "Let's get one thing straight," I said as we sat down. "I'm not here for reconciliation. I'm here to listen to what you have to say. That's it." "I know. I understand." He folded his hands on the table. They were shaking slightly. "I've been going to therapy, court-ordered at first because of the fraud charges, but I've kept going even after I didn't have to, and I've been realizing a lot of things. Such as I was a coward. I blamed you for everything wrong in my life. You were never home. You were always working. You didn't have time for me. But I never stopped to think about why you were working so much, or what I could do to make things better. I just took your money, your effort, your devotion, and when it wasn't enough, when I wasn't happy, I looked outside our marriage instead of looking at myself." Emily was quiet beside me, watching her father. "I hurt you," Michael continued, "in ways I can't take back. The affair was wrong, but the way I disrespected you, made you invisible in your own life, that was worse. And the birthday thing..." His voice cracked. "God, Pat, your birthday, the one thing you asked for, and I couldn't even give you that. I was so wrapped up in my own selfishness that I convinced the kids to go without you. I told myself you wouldn't mind, that you'd understand. But really, I just didn't want to wait, didn't want to interrupt my evening for you. Why are you telling me this now? Because I owe you the truth, and because I need you to know that I see it now. I see what I did, what I threw away. You were the best thing in my life, and I treated you like you were nothing." "You're right," I said simply. "You did. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't even know if I can forgive myself, but I wanted you to hear it from me, that I'm sorry, truly, deeply sorry, and that I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to be better, not for you, I know we're done, but for me, and for our kids." I studied him. He seemed sincere, broken, humbled, but sincere. "Thank you for the apology," I said. "I appreciate it. But you're right about one thing. We're done. The divorce is almost final, and even if it wasn't, even if you'd become a perfect man overnight, I wouldn't go back, because I've finally found peace without you. I know, Emily told me. You're happy. I am, happier than I've been in years." "Good, you deserve that." He looked at Emily. "You both do." "What about Joshua?" I asked. Michael's face darkened. "He's struggling. Won't listen to me about anything. Thinks the world owes him. I see myself in him from when I was younger, and it scares me. He'll figure it out. Or he won't. You've really let go, haven't you? Of all of us. Not of Emily, she's putting in the work to be better. But you? Joshua? Yes, I've let go, and it feels like finally putting down a weight I've been carrying for decades." We finished the meal in relative peace. Michael paid with his debit card from his construction job paycheck, not stolen money. When we left, he hugged Emily, looked at me hopefully. I shook his hand instead. "Goodbye, Michael." "Goodbye, Pat. I really am sorry." "I know, but sorry doesn't undo the damage. It just acknowledges it." Emily and I walked to our cars. "How do you feel?" she asked. "Free," I said, "completely free." 4 months after I kicked Michael out, he asked for one more meeting, through Emily, of course. "He wants to have dinner with all of us," Emily said. "You, me, Joshua, and him. He says he has things he needs to say to make things right." "Where?" He suggested Pascal's, the restaurant, the soul food place where they'd celebrated my birthday without me. The audacity. "Fine," I said. "Tell him I'll be there." What Michael didn't know was that I'd already been planning this moment. Barbara had been waiting for the right time. The divorce papers had been finalized that morning, signed by the judge. Michael had been served weeks ago, but apparently hadn't bothered to read them carefully. He thought we were still negotiating. We weren't. I called Barbara. "It's time." "I'll be there," she said, at the next table. Close enough to hear, far enough to stay invisible. The night of the dinner, I dressed carefully. A burgundy dress. New, not the old one I'd worn to 3 weddings. Hair done. Makeup perfect. I looked powerful. I felt powerful. I arrived at Pascal's at exactly 7 p.m. Michael was already there, sitting in a booth with Joshua. Emily pulled up beside me in the parking lot. "You ready for this?" she asked. "I've been ready for months." Barbara was already inside, sitting at a corner table with a book open, looking like any other solo diner. She caught my eye briefly, nodded once. Michael stood up when he saw me. He'd cleaned up. Nice shirt, shaved, tried to look presentable. Joshua barely looked up from his phone. "Pat, thank you for coming. This means everything." I slid into the booth across from them. Emily sat beside me, the same booth where they'd celebrated without me. I could see it in Michael's face. He remembered too. Good. "Let's order first," Michael said, trying to take control. "My treat." "Is it?" I asked calmly. "What are you paying with, Michael?" He flushed. "I'm working now, construction, making decent money. I can afford to buy my family dinner." Family. That word tasted bitter coming from his mouth. We ordered fried chicken, collard greens, mac and cheese. The same foods from my birthday. The waiter brought sweet tea. The irony wasn't lost on me. Once the food arrived, Michael cleared his throat. "I asked you all here tonight because I need to say some things. Things I should have said months ago." I took a sip of my tea. Said nothing. "I made mistakes. Terrible mistakes. I had an affair. I lied. I took money that wasn't mine. I disrespected the woman who held my entire life together for 28 years. His voice cracked. "Pat, I was wrong about everything, and I want to make it right." "How?" I asked simply. "I want us to try again. To rebuild. I've changed. I'm in therapy. I'm working on myself. I'm not drinking. You're broke," I said, "living in a studio apartment, facing fraud charges, working construction because your shop was shut down. That's not change, Michael. That's consequences." Joshua finally looked up. "Mom, he's trying. Can't you see that?" What I see is a man who only started trying after he lost everything. Where was this effort when he was cheating on me, when he was stealing from me, when he was planning to divorce me and take half my house? "That's not fair," Joshua said. "People make mistakes. And people face consequences for those mistakes. You should know. You're facing yours. How's college going, Joshua?" His face went red. "You know I got dropped. Because you expected me to fund your education after you kept your father's affair secret from me for 4 months. That was your choice. I was trying to stay neutral. There's no neutral when someone is being betrayed, son. You chose a side. You chose wrong." Michael held up his hands. "Pat, please, let's not do this here. I asked you to dinner because I want to show you that family is everything, that we can work through this, that I love you." I looked at him for a long moment. Then I reached into my purse and pulled out a folder. "You love me," I repeated. "That's interesting. Tell me, Michael, when did you sign these?" I opened the folder. Divorce papers. Finalized. Stamped by the court that morning. His face went white. "What?" "Our divorce was finalized today. You were served the papers 3 weeks ago." "Did you not read them?" I thought we were still negotiating. My lawyer said." "Your lawyer was wrong, or you weren't listening. Either way, we're not married anymore, Michael. As of 9 a.m. this morning, you're officially my ex-husband." Emily squeezed my hand under the table. She knew this was coming. "The house remains solely in my name," I continued calmly. "My investments remain mine. Your debt remains yours. The $23,000 you stole will be repaid through wage garnishment. And there's one more thing." I pulled out another document. The fraud investigation concluded. You forged my nursing credentials on 15 workers' comp claims. You defrauded insurance companies of $75,000. You owe $30,000 in back taxes. Pat, please. Criminal charges have been filed. I reported you weeks ago. The evidence was overwhelming. That's when I saw them. 2 police officers entering the restaurant. Barbara had made the call 10 minutes before I arrived. Michael saw them too. The color drained from his face. "Mrs. Thompson," one officer said, "we're looking for Michael Thompson." "That's him," I said, pointing across the table. "Mr. Thompson, you need to come with us. You're under arrest for insurance fraud and identity theft." The restaurant went quiet. Everyone was watching now, just like everyone had watched them celebrate my birthday without me in this same restaurant 4 months ago. "What?" "No, Pat, you can't do this. Not here, not—" "Stand up, sir," the officer said. Michael looked at me, desperation in his eyes. "Pat, please, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." "I know you are," I said quietly. "Sorry you got caught. Sorry you're facing consequences. But sorry you hurt me? I don't think you ever really were." They cuffed him, right there in the booth, the same booth where he'd raised a toast to me while I sobbed alone at home. "Mom!" Joshua stood up. "You destroyed him. You actually destroyed him." "No," I said, standing to face my son. "He destroyed himself. I just stopped catching him when he fell. I stopped being the safety net for a man who was using me as a doormat. There's a difference." "You're cruel. You're vindictive. I'm free," I interrupted. "For the first time in 28 years, I'm free. And Joshua? Until you can understand the difference between cruelty and boundaries, between vindictiveness and self-protection, you and I have nothing more to say to each other." Michael was being led out of the restaurant. People were whispering, phones out, recording. Good. Let them see. Let them witness what happens when you make a woman invisible. As he passed our table, he looked at me one more time. "I really did love you, Pat." "I know," I said. "I loved you too. But love without respect is just another word for slow death, and I choose to live." They took him out. The restaurant slowly returned to normal. Emily was crying, but not for her father. For everything we'd lost, everything that could have been different if he'd just valued what he had. Joshua grabbed his jacket. "I can't believe you did this. In public, in front of everyone." "Funny," I said. "That's exactly what you did to me. Celebrated my birthday in public in front of everyone while I sat home alone. Seems fitting that this ends the same way it started." He left without another word. Followed the police cars, probably, still choosing his father over what was right. Barbara came over to our table. "That went exactly as planned." "Thank you for being here," I said. "Wouldn't have missed it." She looked at Emily. "You okay, honey?" Emily nodded, wiping her eyes. "I chose right this time. I chose my mom." I hugged my daughter, and in that moment, in that restaurant where my family had once excluded me, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Vindication. 6 months later, my life looked like something out of a dream. Not the fairy tale kind, the real kind. The kind where you wake up and realize the nightmare is finally over. Michael took a plea deal. Probation, 5 years, community service, mandated therapy, wage garnishment to pay back what he stole. He was working construction full-time, living in that studio apartment, rebuilding his life from scratch. The man who once thought he deserved half my house was learning to be grateful for a roof at all. I'd heard through Emily that he'd stopped drinking completely, that therapy was actually helping, that he was, perhaps for the first time in his adult life, taking responsibility for his actions. Good for him. That was his journey now, not mine. Joshua remained estranged. He'd moved in with Michael's brother Marcus after the arrest, gotten a job at a warehouse, was taking night classes at community college, paying his own way finally. Emily said he was angry, at me, at Michael, at life. But slowly, grudgingly, he was learning to stand on his own feet. Whether he'd ever acknowledge what he did wrong remained to be seen. I'd left the door open, but I wasn't holding my breath. Emily thrived. She'd been in therapy for 6 months and it showed. She'd gotten a promotion at work, started dating someone, a good guy who treated her well. She'd moved into her own place, but we had dinner together twice a week. Real relationship, equal, honest. "I see it now," she told me one night over wine. "How Dad treated you, how we all did. I'm so sorry, Mom." "I know, baby, and I forgive you. You're doing the work. That's what matters." As for me, I'd met someone, Simone, 54, a high school principal, divorced with grown kids of her own. She had this laugh that made everything feel lighter. We'd met at a book club, started as friends, became something more. Nothing rushed, nothing desperate. Just 2 women who'd survived bad marriages and found each other on the other side. We'd taken a trip to Savannah, then New Orleans. I'd seen more in 6 months with Simone than I had in 28 years with Michael, had more fun, felt more alive. One Saturday morning, I ran into Michael at the grocery store. I almost didn't recognize him. Thinner, grayer, wearing a worn construction company t-shirt. He saw me, froze. "Pat, Michael." Awkward silence. Then, "You look good." Happy. "I am. You look different." "I'm trying, really trying." He hesitated. "I owe you an apology, a real one, not the self-serving kind I gave before. What I did to you was unforgivable. The way I treated you, made you invisible, took advantage of your devotion. There's no excuse. You deserved better. You always deserved better." I studied him. He seemed genuine, humbled, broken open in a way that might actually lead to growth. "Thank you for saying that," I said. "I accept your apology. Can I ask, are you seeing someone?" "I am. Her name is Simone. She's wonderful." Something flickered across his face. Surprise? Regret? But he nodded. "Good. You deserve wonderful. I hope she treats you right." "She does. She sees me, Michael. Really sees me. Makes me feel like I matter." "You always mattered, Pat. I was just too blind to see it." "I know, but I see it now. That's what counts." We parted ways. Civil. Peaceful. 2 people who'd once loved each other, now strangers with shared history. As I loaded groceries into my car, I realized I felt nothing. No anger, no bitterness, no longing, just peace. Complete, beautiful peace. My 53rd birthday fell on a Tuesday. I took the day off, not because I had to, but because I wanted to, because I'd learned that my time mattered. That evening, I hosted a small dinner, just 10 people. Emily and her boyfriend, Simone and her best friend, Barbara and Denise, Sheila and Dr. Patterson from work, Aunt Lorraine, Mrs. Chen from next door. People who showed up, people who saw me, people who made me feel valued. We gathered around my dining room table, the same table where Michael used to sit in silence, scrolling through his phone while I ate alone. But tonight it was filled with laughter, conversation, life. Simone had made my favorite, lemon cake with raspberry filling. Emily brought flowers. Aunt Lorraine brought wisdom, as always. "Baby girl," she said, raising her glass, "this is what a birthday should look like. People who love you celebrating you, as it should be." We ate, we laughed, we told stories. And when it was time for cake, everyone gathered around, singing happy birthday, like they meant it. Because they did. I closed my eyes, made my wish, blew out the candles. 53 flames extinguished in one breath. "What did you wish for?" Emily asked. "Can't tell," I said, smiling. "But I will say this. I learned something this year. Exclusion is a gift. My family didn't celebrate my birthday without me. They revealed who they were. They showed me what I'd been ignoring for years." I looked around the table at these beautiful faces. Friends, if you're watching this and you've ever felt invisible in your own life, listen to me. Your presence should never be optional to people you made priorities. If they can celebrate without you, let them, and then build a life where you're celebrated, not tolerated. Simone squeezed my hand. Emily smiled through tears. Someone asked me once if I regret how things ended. I continued. The answer is no. That one call I made, to my lawyer, to myself, to the part of me that knew I deserved better, that call changed everything. But the real call, the most important call, that was the one I made to myself, the one where I chose me. Finally, after 52 years, I chose me. I raised my glass. So tell me, friends, which city are you from? And more importantly, when are you going to choose yourself? We toasted. We celebrated. And this time, everyone who mattered was there, including me, the end. If you've ever been made to feel invisible by the people you love most, if you've ever sacrificed yourself until there was nothing left, share your story below. You're not alone. And remember, it's never too late to choose yourself. Hit that like button if Patricia's story resonated with you, and subscribe for more stories of justice, redemption, and the power of knowing your worth.